Dear students, welcome to the economics class. We are studying now, we are going through the chapter human capital formation. Okay, we were discussing about this topic, how to utilize human resources properly for the development of our nation. In India, the ministries of education at the union and state level. Yes, of course, you know that in the union and in the state level we have education departments. They are promoting education. Okay, departments of education and various organizations like National Council of Educational Research and Training. They are also known as NCRT. Okay, then University Grant Commission, its abbreviation is UGC, and All India Council of Technical Education, its abbreviation is AICTE. All these organizations, now we have talked about, or we have studied about NCRT, UGC and AICTE. Okay, all these organizations are promoting education among our citizens. They are relentlessly, continuously promoting education, providing education to our citizens. Similarly, the ministers of health, the same way. Okay, this is, now we are talking about education. Similarly, what is happening? The ministries of health at the union and state level, what they promote, they are promoting health and fitness. Okay, so they promote the departments of health and various organizations like National Medical Commission and Indian Council for Medical Research, that is known as ICMR, facilitate institutions which come under the health sector. So what we understood from this paragraph, the government of India as well as the state governments are promoting education as well as health facilities. Okay, health promotions our governments are doing, okay, at the national level and in the state level. So various organizations are performing better way in order to uplift India's health and educational departments. Okay, we wanted to get more highly talented, also healthy people in our country. That is the basic thing we wanted to do for getting development. Okay, now we can move on to the next point. I trust this paragraph you understood. Here nothing much, but we were talking about 2-3 organizations are working for the development of education or working for the progress of education. The first one is NCRT, UGC, AICTE is there. Then the national government as well as the state governments are working for the promotion of education. Okay, then the same way health, the improvement, we wanted to improve the health of our citizens. That is why Council for Medical Research is working. Indian Council for Medical Research is working. ICMR. The same way, you know, the state governments organizations also, health department is also working for the development of education as well as the health departments. Okay, so now we can move on to the next point. In a developing country like India, with a large section of the population living below the poverty line, so more people are living under poverty line. Okay, even many people are not having one-time meal. So many people cannot afford to access basic education and healthcare facilities. Of course, the poor people cannot access basic education and healthcare, facilities. Okay. Moreover, a substantial section of India's population cannot afford to reach super specialty healthcare and higher education. So another thing is, moreover, a substantial section. So of course, there are more other sections also, not only the poor people, those who are living under poverty line, not only them alone. There are many other poor categories are living in our country. Even they are also not able to get the higher education, better education, as well as the healthcare facilities. Okay. So furthermore, when basic education and the healthcare is considered as a right of the citizens, actually the education and the health facilities must be provided to everyone, and it is their birthright to receive higher education, better education and health facilities from the government. Then it is essential that the government should provide education and health services free of cost for deserving citizens and those from the socially oppressed classes. Yes, of course, socially oppressed people, poor people, backward class, they also want better education and health facilities. It is our government's duty to provide them education and health facilities. They are not capable to access the basic education and healthcare facilities because they are poor people. They don't have enough money to utilize all those facilities. Okay. Then what we need, the government should provide all those facilities. Both the union and the state governments have been stepping up expenditures in the education sector over the years in order to fulfill the objective of attaining 10% literacy and considerably increase the average educational attainment of Indians. See, the state government as well as the union government is actually working on this. They wanted to provide better education and health facility to its citizens or people. Because you know that then only the productivity will increase, we will have healthy citizens and also we will have educated, talented, professional citizens in our country. Then only the overall desired result the government can bring. Then only India became a developed nation. That is what actually here in this paragraph we studied. We studied about the significance and the importance of education and why do we want to provide better education to our citizens. We also studied that the state government as well as the union government is providing better education and health services to our people. That is what actually. Then we studied the education as well as the health facilities must be given to the citizens of India and it is their birthright to receive such facilities from the government. Okay. Then we can move on to the next point, growth in government expenditure on education. So see, we have already studied that actually the government, the union government as well as the state governments are spending a lot of money for education and health facilities. Do you know how much the government spends on education? See, lot of money they are spending. Do you know it is? This expenditure by the government is expressed in two ways. So we can go through the details as a percentage of total government expenditure. So one is total government expenditure as a percentage of gross domestic product, GDP. So we will see what is more about this topic. The percentage of education expenditure of total government expenditure indicates the importance of education in the scheme of things before the government. See, the government is implementing so many schemes, therefore they need to spend a lot of money, okay, in the field of education as well as in the field of health. Okay. The percentage of education expenditure of GDP expresses how much of people's income is being committed to the development of education in the country. You know that the GDP, gross domestic products value, that is what actually GDP. So the GDP is how much percentage our Indian government is spending its on people's education as well as on the health service. During, we can see more details, during 1950 to 2014, education expenditure as percentage of total government expenditure increased from 7.92 to 15.7, more than double increased, and as percentage of GDP increased from 0.64 to 4.13. See, lot of changes, a lot of difference is there. That means India is progressing, and the Indian government as well as the state government is investing lot of money, and they are also implementing new strategies in order to provide better education and health facilities to its people. Throughout this period, the increase in education expenditure has not been uniform. Yes, of course, there is some differences you may find. Then also, there has been irregular rise and fall. So, there is irregular rise and fall of investment when we compare with some other countries. Okay, some other countries are investing a lot of money. So, in India, in every year, the investment, the percentage is actually varying. So, there is a differences. In some years, government is spending a lot of money, and some years some less amount they are investing. So, there is no uniformity. It is not that actually every year we are spending 1,000 crores. It is not like that. Sometimes it is actually little less, and sometimes it is little more the government is doing. But there is considerable changes. Its percentage is increasing, that we have already seen. Okay, to this, if we include the private expenditure incurred by individuals and by philanthropic institutions, the total education expenditure should be much higher. See, here actually we have not included the private individuals' investment in the field of education and in the field of health service. We also not included philanthropic institutions. You know that they are actually doing social organizations, so social work they are doing. So, with the welfare of people they are doing, that is what actually philanthropic institutions work. Their contribution we have not included in this percentage. Okay. So, what we understood in this paragraph is that government of India as well as the state government, of course, doing good work in the field of education and health service. The same time, individuals, private organizations, private individuals, private parties, they were also investing a lot of money in the field of education and health service. Of course, there are so many private hospitals as well as schools are available in our country. So many schools are. Also, a lot of philanthropic organizations, institutions, philanthropic personalities also investing in the field of education and health service. So, that means overall what we can say, India's performance in the field of education and healthcare is really good, and considerable changes we can see, lot of difference we can see, but we wanted to invest more and we wanted to see a lot of more changes. Elementary education takes a major share of total education expenditure, and the share of the higher tertiary education institutions of higher learning like colleges, polytechnics and universities is the least. What is happening? Elementary education, you know that the basic education we wanted to provide to our people, elementary education. At least we can say elementary education, at least people must wanted to learn how to read and how to write. Okay, up to 4th class, 7th class or 10th class. Nowadays it is up to 10th class. Everybody must have that much education. Okay, so elementary education takes a major share of total education expenditure, and the share of the higher tertiary education of higher learning like colleges, polytechnics and universities is the least. What is happening? For higher education institutions, for giving higher education, where our students get higher education, especially in polytechnic, colleges, universities, etc. Okay, so there also our government is spending money, but the contribution there is very least only. Okay, but more money we are spending for elementary education. Though on an average the government spends less on tertiary education. That is what actually tertiary education, third level education, that we can say that actually. Okay, elementary education is there, then high school education is there, then the higher education is there. Okay, so expenditure per student in tertiary education is higher than that of elementary. So here saying that, so when we take per student's expenditure, then what is happening? Overall, when we take the amount is actually elementary education's investment is more, but when we take per student's expenditure, then tertiary students expenditure is more. Of course, you know that college students expenditure is more, okay, but more students, more number of students are not going for higher education, for PhD, for the university education, when we compare with the elementary as well as the higher secondary education or higher school education. Okay, this does not mean that financial resources should be transferred from tertiary education to elementary education. So, but that is not meaning that, okay, of course, in tertiary education the government is spending. Tertiary education means, you know, the overall the higher education means university level education. There the government is not spending that much money when we compare to the elementary education, but that is not meaning the elementary education's investment or the contribution we must cut down. That is not meaning that. Okay, we wanted to invest more money in the field of elementary as well as in the field of higher education and research work. As we expand school education, we need more teachers who are trained in the higher educational institutions. So, see, our country is actually getting more development, growth. More students we want more schools, so more teachers we want. What type of teachers we want more in our country? We want highly educated, talented, professional teachers and skilled teachers, so that we wanted to spend more money in the field of tertiary education or higher education. Expenditure on all levels of education should be increased. The conclusion is that we wanted to increase the investment in every level of education. Okay, we should not look whether it is elementary or higher education. We needed to invest a lot of money for the betterment of our children's education. That is what actually the main point you wanted to understand. Next point is, in 2014 to 15, the per capita public expenditure on elementary education differs considerably across states from as high as 34,651 in Himachal Pradesh to as low as 4,088 in Bihar. See, every states are investing a lot of money in the field of education. So, in a education department, they are promoting education much. So, here actually Himachal Pradesh spend a lot of money when it's 2014 to 15, their investment was actually more than the Bihar's investment. Bihar invested per head, actually what is the per capita? Per capita means actually connected with the per head. Okay, so they spend only very less amount, 4,088. So Bihar like states are actually spending very less amount on education. What we want 100% literacy in our country and 100% investment we wanted to do, and not only in the elementary field but in the higher education as well we wanted to invest more. So better educational opportunities and attainments we wanted to attain across states. Okay, we wanted to remove the differences. Okay, every state must get good education, every citizens of India must get better education. That is what you wanted to remember. The complete development we will get only when we invest more in the field of education. One can understand the inadequacy of the expenditure on education if we compare it with the desired level of education expenditure as compared by the various commissions. So our country appoints various educational commissions time to time, and their suggestions, their comments and their advice our country receive. The policy makers understand what are the drawbacks in the field of education as well as in the field of health and services, and they also try to address and try to find solution or panacea for this. Actually, the Education Commission 64 to 66 had recommended that at least 6% of GDP must be spent on education so as to make a noticeable rate of growth in educational achievements. See what happened to the commission. Educational Commission recommended the government to increase the percentage of investment. They said that our country's GDP gross domestic products value. So GDP is 6% at least we need to invest for the development of education in our country. That is what actually the policy makers and a commission advised our government to invest more money. Okay, the commission, various educational commissions suggested our government to increase the percentage of investment in the field of education as well as health service. Okay, the Tabas Majumdar committee appointed by the government of India in 1999 estimated an expenditure of around 1.37 lakh crore over 10 years, 98 to 99 to 2006 to 7, to bring all Indian children in the age group of 6 to 14 years under the purview of school education. See, the government is spending crores and crores of rupees to bring our children to this school. We wanted to give better education to our children, especially 6 to 14 years. The children must get the proper education. We wanted to implement, or we wanted to provide more elementary education as well as university education. You know that actually more students are not going to the university level education, but of course elementary and high school level education we wanted to provide. So that therefore Indian government is spending crores of rupees. See, so many rupees, 1.37 lakh crores over 10 years they spend. Compared to this desired level of education expenditure of around 6% of GDP, the current level of little over 4% has been quite inadequate. In principle, a goal of 6% needs to be reached. At least our GDP is 6% we need to keep for our education's promotion. Okay, this has been accepted as a must for the coming years. In 2009, the government of India enacted the right of children to free and compulsory education. So that is why in 2009, what happened? As per the suggestion of various educational commissions, in 2009 the government of India enacted the right of children, that is a right of children to free and compulsory education, Free and Compulsory Education Act, to make free education a fundamental right of all children in the age group of 6 to 14. So 6 to 14 years, there are so many children living in our country, they are under this, they are between this 6 and 14 years. So they must get the proper education. So we should not allow them to sit or go away without proper elementary education. At least elementary as well as high school education and higher education we wanted to give to them. So that made compulsory and free education. Compulsory. No, so every children got their own birthright. That is what birthright. Education is their birthright now. Okay, so our government wants to provide better education to all children. Here in this paragraph, what did we understand? We understood that the GDP is at least 6% of GDP must be kept for the promotion of education. Okay, we wanted to give a better free education to our children. So between 6 and 14 age, the children must get free education, elementary education must be provided, and high school education, and also the university education must be provided. But the elementary as well as high school education must be provided free and compulsory and mandatory. Every children must attend their school. That is what actually the government made an act. So government of India has also started levying a 2% education cess on all union taxes. See, the union tax is there. From that tax, at least 2% will go to education. So education. So that is why the government is promoting education more. So for that, the government is collecting funds, lot of funds. The revenues from education cess has been earmarked for spending on elementary education. See, we have already seen that the union taxes, from union taxes at least 2% will go to the education. So in that actually they are spending all those money they are spending for elementary education. In addition to this, the government sanctions a large outlay for the promotion of higher education and new loan schemes for students to pursue higher education. See, the government is actually lot of money, government is spending lot of money. Not only that, the commercial banks, various kinds of financial institutions in India, they are also providing loan for higher study. Many students wanted to go for higher study, they don't have money, but our financial institutions like our banks, commercial banks, so many nationalized as well as the private banks like Federal Bank, ICICI Bank, so many private banks are also, they are also providing loan for higher study, so that students can take loan and go for higher study. Even many students are taking such type of loan for their foreign university visit as well as study there. Okay, that is happening. So, dear students, what did we understand? And actually we wanted to utilize the human resources properly, and when we utilize our human resources properly, then only we can get development in our country. Development means we need educated, talented people. So, education is the base of development. So, our policy makers, our economists and our administrators understood that we need to give better education to our people. Okay, that is why the government is promoting elementary, high school level as well as the university level tertiary education much popularly. Okay, they are promoting much popularly, it is actually they are doing it much dedicatedly. So, what we understood actually, they also implemented a lot of taxes. Okay, from taxes also some percentage will go for education. So, the higher education, many financial institutions are also providing loans for higher education. So, our government also made it a compulsory, mandatory to attend elementary education. Okay, between the age of 6 to 14, the children must attend the school. So, education can only make difference in our country. We are doing the chapter human capital formation. So, we can see what are the future prospects. Education for all, still a distant dream. So, we were doing and we were learning about the importance of education. Education can only transform a country's future. So, education can only bring the development in a society. Okay. So, though literacy rates are both adults as well as youth have increased, still the absolute number of illiterates in India is as much as India's population was at the time of independence. Still the illiterates are more in our country, more illiterates are living in our country when we compare with other countries in the world. Okay. So, yes, of course, there are changes, you can see a lot of changes in the field of education. Adults we have, highly educated adults we have, the same with the youths also, but then also so many people from rural area, they are not getting higher studies. Okay. So, elementary education is better nowadays in our country, and our country is promoting elementary education. So, youngsters and as well as children are studying well. So, more actually the government is initiating that from the age of 26 to 14 must be compulsory, that is actually they have to attend the schools. That also our government is introducing and promoting. In 1950, when the Constitution of India was passed by the Constituent Assembly, it was not in the directive principles of the Constitution that the government should provide free and compulsory education. You see, free and compulsory education for all children up to the age of 14 years within 10 years from the commencement of the Constitution. Had we achieved this, we would have 10% literacy by now. What did you understand from this paragraph? This paragraph says that actually the importance of education, and we have of course educated adults and youths, but the thing is that again we wanted to go more further, and we wanted to provide a better education to our citizens. So then only the desired result we can attain. The country wanted to get development. Okay, so in 1950s, what happened when the Constitution of India was passed by the Constituent Assembly? Then this assembly also suggested that we wanted to give free education to every children in India. But we didn't do at that time. Okay, up to free and compulsory education we wanted to provide to our children. In those days we could not do, but recently our government made it compulsory, and of course the compulsory and mandatory, that is every children must attend the schools. So in order to attain the complete development, the perfect development in our country, the country is providing all these facilities. Our country is spending a lot of money in order to create education and health facilities in India. The importance of health facilities and the education, we have already understood that. A country need highly talented, educated, skilled people. Then only they can get much development. Then only the country gets the real transformation. That is what we wanted to understand. Now again we are moving on to the next point, dear students. Gender equity we wanted to attain. So of course there should not be any difference between the male and female. So better than before, the difference in literacy rates between males and females are narrowing, signifying a positive development in gender equity. What is happening nowadays? Male as well as females are attending the schools. Both are gaining education. That means a lot of changes is occurring in our, or taking place in our society. So we can say that actually gender equity that we are attaining. Still the need to promote education for women in India is imminent for various reasons, such as improving economic independence and social status of women, and also because women education makes a favorable impact on fertility rate and health care of women and children. What actually we wanted to do? Women empowerment. Yes, of course, in rural areas as well as in urban areas, we wanted to promote women's education, so that actually what will happen when women learns more things, then better social impact we can bring in our country. Okay, socially the women's empowerment we wanted to do, then only the real changes occur in our country. Why? Because you know that actually if a learned woman is in a family, she can teach others, she will teach others, she can teach her children as well. So that a lot of changes we can bring in our society. The society's upliftment and the welfare will happen only when women empowerment take place really. So then what else? Therefore we cannot be complacent about the upward movement in the literacy rates, and we have miles to go in achieving 7% adult literacy. We wanted to bring 100% education, adult literacy. Of course 100% children must go to the school, and because we wanted to bring changes in our society, socially, economically, as well as in the cultural level too. We wanted to bring lot of changes. It will happen only when we provide better education and better health facilities, as well as when we wanted to promote women's education. Then only the country get the real transition or transformation. Okay, this point you needed to remember. We wanted to bring or attain gender equity. It will happen only when we provide better education for both male and female. Then come to the point, the next paragraph we can higher education. Of course you know that actually more people are doing elementary education, some are doing high school education, higher secondary education, but the tertiary education also we wanted to promote. More people must go to the university level and do research work. Then we want more engineers, doctors, nurses, etc. that we have already explained. A few takers, the Indian education pyramid is steep, indicating lesser and lesser number of people reach in the higher education level. So what is happening here? many people go up to high school level, some may go up to elementary level, but we want maximum people must to reach or go for higher education. When our more people attend university level education, then only more talent or skilled highly professional people would be in our economy or in our country, then they can educate, train other people too. They can be mentor, and mentors mentor also we want. So moreover, the level of unemployment among educated youth is the highest. Nowadays another thing is actually what is the another troubles our country is facing, unemployment. Of course unemployment is there, so we wanted to create more employment opportunities in our country. That will happen only when our policy makers and economists plan properly the strategies. Therefore we also need highly skilled people, and skill based education we wanted to provide to our every people. That you needed to understand. Okay. So here as per NSSO, so National Sample Survey Organization's data, in the year 2011 to 2012, the rate of unemployment among youth males who studied graduation and above in rural areas was 19% only. Their urban counterparts had a relatively less level of unemployment rate, 16%. So you see here it is says that actually the studies shows that the unemployment is there in our country. We want even the higher educated, highly educated people also having unemployment in our country, okay, both in rural as well as in urban areas. So we wanted to remove that. We wanted to give better education. Education is the birthright of a citizen in our country. Then we also wanted to provide better job opportunities to our people. We want more highly talented people, skilled people. The most severely affected ones were the young rural female graduate, as nearly 30% of them are unemployed. Highly educated people, female graduates in rural areas are not getting the proper job. So that also we wanted to answer, and we wanted to provide better job opportunities to them. In contrast to this, only about 3 to 6% of primary level educated youth in rural area and urban areas were unemployed. So what is happening? Okay, so the unemployment is there when we compare to females and the males. The males better job opportunities more better. But another thing is that more females are not getting enough better job opportunities, even though they are graduated in various topics and subjects. So what else we wanted to do? We wanted to empower the women's standard, their living standard, socially we wanted to empower them, and economically also we wanted to empower. We wanted to bring changes in their life, okay, socially and economically. The situation is yet to improve as indicated by the periodic labor force survey 2017 to 2018. So almost all studies in India is showing that actually we wanted to give better education, better health facilities. We wanted to create more employment opportunities among male and females, okay. So when we study about male and females employment opportunities, we can see that actually lot of difference there. So females job opportunity is less in our country, okay. What we wanted to do? We wanted to do women empowerment. When we give better job opportunities to women and job educational opportunities to women, then the real transformation we can bring in our country. Therefore, the government should increase allocation for higher education and also improve the standard of higher education institutions. What we want more higher educational institutions in our country, so that students are imparted employable skills in such institutions. When compared to less educated, a large proportion of educated persons are unemployed. Why? See, even though the education is there, but employment opportunities are not in our country. So that is the fault of our policy makers. They needed to create such a strategy by which our educated youth can get the proper or better job opportunities. So we also wanted to give a skill based education to our youngsters or our citizens. So the policy makers and the administrators must work on this. We wanted to create the changes and we wanted to bring changes. The fundamental changes will happen only when we focus much on education, that too on skill based education. The next point is that conclusion. The economic and social benefits of human capital formation and human development are well known. Yes, of course, we understood that actually human capital formation and human development must be taken place properly. Then only a country can get its 100% development. The union and state governments in India have been earmarking substantial financial outlays for development of education and health sectors. We have already understood that the state government as well as the central governments both are actually investing a lot of money in the field of education and in the field of health service. Both these are the basic stones of development. Both are the basic stones of development. Both actually they are connected each other, the health and the education. Citizens' health and education must be good, then only a country can get its desired developmental goals. They can attain all those goals only when they provide better education and health service. The spread of education and health services across different sectors of the society should be ensured so as to simultaneously attain economic growth and equity. See, growth and equity we can attain only when we provide better education and health facilities, health service to our citizens. India has a rich stock of scientific and technical manpower. See, India is the second largest populated country in the world, and we have highly educated people, and we have our people have scientific and technical manpower too. Scientific and technical, thus we have enough stock of scientific and technical manpower. You know that actually a lot of people, we are supplying lot of highly educated people to other countries. Brain drain is happening. More highly educated people are moving to other countries from India. Why? Because of course we have less of job opportunity here in India, but we have highly talented people and highly educated people in India. Of course, that is why they are moving to other countries for better job opportunities. So we can say that actually stock of scientific and technical manpower in India is rich. The need of the hour is to better it qualitatively and provide such conditions so that they are utilized in India. So what we want actually, our educated and talented people should not move to other countries in search of job opportunities. What we want, our policy makers must understand that actually we need to provide better job opportunities to them inside India, within this domestic boundary of India. Then only India get the complete development. Then only our productivity will increase. The talent should not move to the other countries from India. So India must learn how to utilize our talent within this boundary of India. That is what we need to understand. So that the policy makers and the administrators must understand its value of education and health service, and we should not allow our people, highly educated people, to move other countries in order to search jobs. Okay, we wanted to take their help to improve India's economic as well as social conditions. That is what. Dear students, what did you understand from this chapter? From this chapter you understood that education and health services are the basic stones of development. Therefore, we wanted to improve, we wanted to learn, and we wanted to impart the higher knowledge, better education, skill based education, and also we want healthy people in our country. then only our country can get its desired, its future development. What development we are seeking can be attained very soon. If we send our educated people to other countries, it won't get very soon. What we wanted to do? We wanted to educate our rural as well as urban people. Every children must get education, proper education. They must get a skill based education. That is why recently our central government initiated that skill based education. Okay, Make India project is also there. Then lot of startups are our government is promoting startups. Okay, our commercial banks are providing loans because we wanted to transform India. India is getting, of course, India is getting development in every field, especially in the field of education and health service. So I hope you understood this topic. I also request you to learn better way and contribute